So, let's talk about why I do not go to the gym as a minimalist. First, I want to say that I don't think there's anything wrong with going to the gym for whatever reason you go there, as long as it's not to kind of punish yourself, but as long as it's like having a positive impact on your life, then everything is fine with that. Also, I don't do any other kinds of sports or like organized team sports or anything like that, but in my youth I was a member of like a youth circus, so I do have a lot of experience with like strength training, stretching, training in a group and changing my body in order for it to do something. But let's get into the reasons for the current situation. Why have I never gone to a gym? Why do I just not think that's something that makes sense in my life? So I think there are a few reasons, and I think minimalism has to do with most of them, but also a little bit the overall way I want to live my life. Let's start with a really practical one. I do not really want to spend the time that I would need to go to a gym. I'd rather do other things with this time. It sounds so boring to me to look at walls, look at other people, look at these training devices and sweat in a closed room several times a week. It's just not really something I want to do. So I do want to save the time. Then another thing is I do not own workout clothes. And of course I could buy them, but I don't need them because I do not go to the gym. So it's just easier in my life. I do not own these clothes and I don't go to the gym, and that makes my life simpler. Then of course, I do not want to spend the money for a gym membership if it's not really something I want to do, if I'm not excited to go to the gym. And number 4 is definitely also that I just don't have the intrinsic motivation. It's just not something that I think sounds exciting. And I think you've heard that from the other things already, but it's not something I want to do from the inside, from myself. And I do try in my life to not push myself too hard for things that I don't want to do, especially not if I don't think they will be worth it for my health, for my happiness, for a long-term goal that I'm sure I really want to reach. Now, yes, most people go to the gym to be healthy and for their long-term happiness. So how do I do that? Do I think that I don't need to be healthy and that I don't need to be happy, or that moving my body wouldn't help with that? No, absolutely not. But I just do get my exercise in different ways. And for some of you that might be less practical. And so you might choose the gym over the things I do, and that's totally fine. But for me, it makes more sense the way I'm doing. So what am I doing? I do try to have like an overall fit lifestyle. So I do take my bike to work, and whenever I need to go somewhere else than work, I do try to take my bike or walk there if that's possible. When I go on vacation, I usually do hike a lot, I walk a lot, I take public transport, and so I do move my body a lot. And that's kind of just what I want to do. Now, this method, it might not be perfect because I'm not using every single muscle when just walking and hiking and biking. But as far as I know, for our health, it's also true that moderate exercise is the thing that's going to make us very healthy and generally live for longer. So it's not even, I don't even want to do extreme exercise. That's just, if I don't have fun doing it for itself, then that's not something that I need for my goals. And like this, by incorporating exercise into my everyday life, it's a lot more fun because I really enjoy riding my bike, but I enjoy it way more because I can see things when I'm biking instead of being at a gym and kind of seeing the same room all the time. And the same goes for hiking. Like, I honestly don't really go hiking because I think it's so enjoyable to put one foot in front of the other, but because of the amazing scenery. I do like going for walks because I think it's nice seeing a sunset, feeling different weather, discovering different streets in our neighborhood, things like that, maybe apples at an apple tree that nobody wants, things like that. I enjoy moving my body through the world, experiencing life, that being part of life, because for me, going to the gym feels like this thing kind of separate that you do to maintain your body. It just feels like I would be doing the things in order to live or to maintain my life. And instead of doing that, I'd rather just live in a way that will work for a long time, hopefully. Now, the thing is that I'm of course still young, and in my life, I've never had like problems with my body so that I would have to go to the gym to rebuild parts of my body. But then a few months ago, I had problems with my shoulder, and my doctor said it would be good to kind of train my upper back a bit more, to give my shoulders a bit more space, to make sure it doesn't happen that much in the future. And so I do have like one of these stretchy bands that you can train with at home, and I sometimes do that while watching YouTube videos. But it's like a 10-minute thing a day if I think about it, and for now that works. Because I totally see myself going to the gym if it's to make sure that like chronic pain or after an accident something goes back to normal, or I can like really better my life and make sure that I feel better, that I can move better, that I can live my life better. But as long as I feel like I can live my life just fine, I'd rather maintain that with living my life than with going to the gym. But maybe I'm just in a very, very lucky position to feel like my body does everything it needs to do, and so there's nothing I need to kind of improve about it in order to live my life as I want to do. And again, I do want to say that I really think there's nothing wrong. I can totally understand if you hate hiking and you would never do that if you weren't like made to do it by someone. But I don't like going to the gym, and that's why I don't do it. Again, also, that might change in the future because there are reasons to go to a gym. There are reasons to not go to a gym. There are reasons to bike to work, but there are reasons why that's maybe not possible. So as much as possible, my life philosophy maybe here and my approach with going to the gym is just that it's not something I want to do, and so I see it as a tool, but because I don't think I need that tool right now, I'd rather just spend my time living my life instead of punishing myself to the gym. Again, that's how I feel about it right now. Now, I would be really interested in hearing your opinion, because I'm sure there are other opinions. There are other approaches, other reasons, and you might do it very differently, and that might be way better for you than doing it similar to my approach. Maybe it's just also something you haven't thought about, but maybe, I don't know, let me know. Also, I do want to link you another video here that you can check out now, and I do want to say thank you so much to all of my patrons. They do get an extra podcast episode every single week, so maybe I see you over on Patreon if that's something that sounds interesting to you, and otherwise, hopefully in this video or in my next video. Goodbye!